John here, guys! And today we're talking about the Insta360 Go 2. Now I really like this camera because you can wear it around like this whenever you want to record something. You just hit this little button once and it starts recording, so you always have a camera on your person, a B camera if you will, even if you're out there shooting or you just want to be able to get stuff with you. You can just boom, take it off, and now you can point it wherever you want. The inside of an engine bay, underneath something, get really cool footage of your friends. And this second version of the Insta360 Go really addresses a lot of the concerns and issues we had with the first one. But make no mistake, this is a drone channel. So while this was shipping to me, I drew up this mount for the Chakra 4 lights. This review is probably either on the channel already or coming very soon. I didn't have the exact dimensions. I kind of found what I could find off the product page, and then I used a picture to sketch this mount. So it's a little bit loose. The depth dimension I had was to the tip of the lens, but I actually needed to the front of the case itself. But it fits perfectly in there. I'll show you a picture of that. Now the upgrades that are significant for us are, one, the recording time before was only 5 minutes, which was not long enough for the flights that we want to go with. 2, the resolution was too low. They bumped that up. Now you can get 2K resolution, which is normally what I shoot with. Even GoPro, I only shoot 2.7K on my GoPro Hero 9 just to save a little space. So that's perfectly usable for me. They've made this lens replaceable so you can swap it out if you crack it. That is a huge plus because those of us that are going to be using this in a true action camera sense or flying on drones definitely need that. They've beefed up and improved the image stabilization algorithms on there. You can flip it one way, the other way. It doesn't really matter. I can do portrait or landscape video modes. But really most significant for us is that FPV mode can go as long as 30 minutes. Now they don't recommend, if you're not flying on a drone, to record that long, but because it just heats up. Like the battery, the storage, everything is in here. They've bumped the storage up. Before it was only 8 gigabytes, which isn't enough to record anything. Now it's 32 gigabytes. You still can't upgrade it, but 32 is gonna be very much usable for us. They have also increased the battery life so that you can actually record for 30 minutes, which, I love that part. And another set of really impressive things are to the case. The case is where you slap it in and charge it. As soon as you put it in there, it starts charging right away. So you actually charge this battery that's in the case. That will then charge the camera anytime you put it in there. So in between shots, you can put it in there when you're walking around. It'll start to charge the camera itself. I really love the enhancements to this case. They now have a little tripod mount down there. If you don't have a tripod with you, guess what? This turns into its own tripod. Can you see that? It's kind of like when Kramer made the coffee table book, that if you don't have a coffee table, it turns into a coffee table.
See, the beauty of my book is, if you don't have a coffee table, it turns into a coffee table.
That's the kind of ingenuity these guys are coming up with. Now it has its own little command screen right here that you can do things with. It has 2 buttons, so you can actually record with this thing. You could walk around recording like this. This would extend your battery life because now you have the combined battery capacity of both of these units. It acts as a little handle type gimbal for you, and you can just push record directly from here. There's also a menu so that you can change some of the settings. I'm gonna go over and do a more comprehensive video in the future showing other types of scenarios, but what I really wanted to know was how it goes for FPV. So let's take a look at some flights. The sad thing about this is they've increased the price of this to $300, $100 more than the original Insta360 Go. And I reviewed this little SJCam camera on here. Now this is bigger, it weighs more. This is like 33 grams. The Insta360 Go 2 is 27 grams. but this is only $60. This is $300. The image of this is not as good. The stabilization is non-existent, but if you absolutely had to get a little bit of action camera on the cheap, this could still be a good option at 60 bucks, but it's not really usable for my purposes. Now, why even have this over my GoPro Hero 9? Well, my GoPro Hero 9 is plenty fine if I'm using a giant quad like this. This is the Shocker Tank. This is a 5-inch, it has 2208 motors. With the GoPro and the battery, it's probably over 800 grams. This quad without a battery is under 200 grams. You add another battery that's about 100 grams, then you add this is 27 grams. This is less than half the weight of this. So if I can get away with having footage that's only 75% as good as this, I can now fly something that weighs less, that makes less noise, that will disturb less people, and something about like getting close to things and something that's this heavy is never that comforting. If I can get 75% as good footage, but have 75% more confidence because the weight is so much smaller, the size is so much smaller, the noise is so much less, that's what this is for. The original Insta360 Go, the quality was only slightly better than the DJI recording, which is actually pretty good. Now we have a reason to do this. Let me know what you think in the comments. The footage is definitely not as good as the GoPro Hero 9, but it is quite improved. It's very usable now. I didn't keep my original Insta360 Go because it just had too many compromises. Now all those compromises are wiped away. Yes, the prices increased, which I didn't love. I was hoping they would come in at 200 and 250 bucks, but 300 is still not bad. Now, if you do have the budget, if you do have the funds, if you don't mind the noise, and you can carry a full-size GoPro, the Hero 9 is only $50 to $100 more. So, but if you're like me, and you have a Flywheel Explorer, and a Shocker Tank Light, and a Recon by HGLRC, and plenty of other 4-inch things, a couple of cool things I'm going to be working on with Armatan very soon, and you want to still have some footage, the batteries are less on here, the motors are less on here, the stacks are less on here, the weight is less on here. So there is a reason why people really like flying this form factor with a 1054S pack, which is only a $16 battery. You can fly for quite a long time. And the thing that I like the most is this ends up being a scaled down version. A lot of the things that I like about this big one is it flies like a quad with 2207 motors without a GoPro. I scaled up the motors here so I can get the same feel as a freestyle quad without a GoPro. I've scaled everything down here so that I can maintain that consistent feel. This feels very, very close to a 5-inch quad with 2207 motors, so that my muscle memory can stay as consistent as possible regardless of if I'm flying this or this. And the only reason it's possible is because I finally have an action camera that weighs this little amount of weight. I love it, guys. Thanks Insta360 Go for finally coming to this. We'll let you know long term and give you some more shots, but check it out. What do you guys think in the comments? Are you just going to keep on flying full-size stuff? Are you ready to move to this? We're all going to have to start getting the weight down sooner or later, so this is a great step in that direction in order to get closer and closer to 250 grams. We're still not all the way there yet, but this is, with this camera, I'm probably right around 300 grams or so, 320. Thanks, guys. you.